If you don't like capitalism, mate, what's the alternative?
Money. Have you thought about what your money is? Could it be a potato instead? Sure, it's a little bulky, but actually it's a really beneficial attribute. Yes, I'm going to tell you how. But first, how does using a potato instead of a dollar or a yen contribute to circular economies? Well, design interventions need to be supported by a favorable system. A potato currency would function as a systemic enabler of circular economies by diminishing our capitalist inclinations.
I think we're like dreaming this big crazy thing where it is the currency of the world.
It would underpin a system that incentivizes circular thinking. In addition to a new financial system, the potato currency would bring tangible benefits such as decreasing pollution, prioritizing green space, increasing composting, and local trading. They are very inclusive. They can be grown virtually anywhere in a wide range of climates and substrates. They are zero waste and don't tarnish easily. Physically, they could easily be circulated as a unit of exchange, and of course, they could be eaten too. Potatoes are quite amazing when you think about it. They are very nutritious and they're low fat too. Did you know that a human could live for 2 to 3 months entirely on a mono diet of potatoes? And they have huge cultural importance. If it wasn't for potatoes, the West would not be the global superpower it is today. It was this reliable food source that allowed the population to expand rapidly. Such powerful little tubers. Could potato currency be their new achievement? First, we need to look at what a currency entails.
Historically, people have thought about money having three functions. It's a unit of exchange, it's a unit of account, and it's a store of value. And gold nicely ticks all those boxes.
Ideally, it's durable, portable, divisible, uniform, limited in supply, and widely accepted.
Everyone has to agree it's acceptable.
So could potatoes really function as a currency? Theoretically, yes. In theory, there is no reason why it could not be a unit for measure of value. Some of these functions are somewhat arbitrary. The potato's value as a currency would be directly related to its nutritional value. It would be cumbersome, but yes, it could be exchanged too. Although it wouldn't store indefinitely, it's quite hardy and can be replanted and multiplied as a form of storage. Its limited durability is a positive, because it inhibits wealth accumulation and encourages a healthier relationship with money. It's also not of limited supply, but neither are currencies these days. Money is being printed in vast quantities if needed, and this is happening now. Acceptability is the real crux of this.
Everyone has to agree it's acceptable.
It would imply that our belief systems had shifted to prioritize the planet over profit. But the coming upheavals in global financial systems might be in our favor. You may have noticed that we have made one big assumption, that the potato's monetary value can't be related to nutrition. Someone could invent a machine that quickly determines the nutritional value of a potato. Something along the lines of a potato BMI calculator, but more sophisticated. But if this is possible, then there will be a constant value operating similarly to a gold standard. And if this is the case, then the potato is also a really safe asset because it can always be eaten. And this value never changes. There would be no fluctuation. A bad potato year would not mean that your potatoes were worth more than in a better year, and we can always grow more potatoes. Theoretically, the more work you put in, the more money you will have. Makes sense, doesn't it? It's a no-brainer really. Potato currency is circular by nature. It creates a system which favors the environment, sustainability, and equality. The need to maximize nutritional content is linked to many environmental benefits. Take crop rotation, for example. It would be necessary to minimize plant disease, but would also incentivize green space. Every field of money would need 3 fields to be fallow, or growing other crops to fix nitrogen in the soil and feed pollinators. Domestic crops would mean more home composting and increased generation of soil that is rich in nutrients. But think, potato currency cannot be hoarded. At some point, it needs to be eaten, spent, replanted, composted, or put to a different use. This relationship creates a much healthier idea of wealth, away from accumulation and towards year-to-year replenishment. And here's why bulkiness is good. Okay, a little bit more trouble than a credit card, but this in practicality would encourage localization and swapping. If you think this sounds crazy, well, think again. This is the perfect moment for a potato currency. We're hurtling towards a post-COVID economic collapse. It's going to be far worse than after the 2008 global financial crisis. Money is being printed in unprecedented amounts. How long can this go on? We know that economies will have to restructure. We just don't know how yet. But if you look, there is a delicious solution staring us in the face. Potato currency. Of course, for potato currency to really shape a more equal society, it would have to go hand in hand with some type of land reform, already a very tricky issue. Then there is the worry about deforestation and how would international trade operate. Right now, we don't have all the answers, but we may have found someone who does.
How post-capitalist society might function. Work, land use, international trade, international payments. How would all that work?
It takes some creativity, but there are solutions out there if only you look for them. There's a lot we still don't know, but the potato currency seems feasible. The post-COVID world is going to be a very different place. Our current systems will be unrecognizable, and we will need radical new ideas. Potato currency requires a huge shift in the popular mindset, away from capitalism and more focus on the common good. Things are already changing, and a nudge with a potato could be exactly what we need.